Good morning, brothers. I wanted to take a few minutes with you and just kind of reflect on the scandals in the church and what's going on. And I was thinking earlier today as I got up this morning that when I was flying back from Boston, or actually when I was in Boston, the grand jury report from Pennsylvania came out and the continuing credible allegations against the cardinal in Washington were all over the front page. But I got on the plane and I was flying home, and as the plane was taking off, I was talking to the person next to me, and as you normally do, and he was saying, "Well, what do you do?" And I found myself not wanting to tell him, so I just kind of lied and said I worked for a nonprofit. I couldn't bring myself to say that I was a friar or a priest because I just didn't want to deal with questions or explanations or whatever might have come up. And I realized it was because I have a lot of shame, I have a lot of anger, I have a lot of confusion in how I think and feel. You know, I had some friend I know ask me why do I stay in the church. But these are the reality of the times we live in. And so I find it very difficult at times. We in the province of St. Barbara have been involved for almost 30 years, or since the early 1990s, in sexual misconduct and the abuse of minors. And I want to be very clear because also as a friar and as a provincial, I have talked to people who have been abused, and it destroys their lives. It's an incredible violation of a person's trust and a person's dignity. But with the recent allegations or the recent report in Pennsylvania and the activities of the cardinal in Washington, it's almost as if a scab has gotten picked off my arm. And I know for some of our brothers who dealt with this on a daily basis, it's almost as if they suffer from PTSD, that these past realities come back and are with us in this present moment. And so there's a great time of confusion and anger. And then to top it all off, the former nuncio in Washington has made some accusations against the Holy Father. I don't find these accusations very credible at all. If you read them carefully and you look into the history and the time, there's nothing credible there. And I want to be very clear that I support fully the reform of the church that Pope Francis is trying to put forward. His year of mercy, his calling of the church as a field hospital, his reaching out to those that are on the sidelines or in great difficulties in their personal life. His argument against clericalism within the church. All of these things I support. But this nuncio has caused even more scandal and more division among the faithful and perhaps among us friars. And so with all this going on, at times it can be, I'm not sure what the word is, just very depressing, very sad, very disheartening. And I know when the Holy Father was in Ireland, he apologized once again for the sexual abuse. Rightly so apologized. But also I find myself getting tired of apologies, It seems to me that we need concrete steps of reform within the church and within the power structure of the church. All these letters and apologies remind me of the years when I was drinking, because of my drinking, and this was years before the friars, because of my drinking, I wouldn't show up someplace I was supposed to show up, or I did something inappropriate, and I would apologize, and I would apologize, and after a while, nobody really wanted to hear my apologies, I had to make concrete changes in my life and actually change my behavior and stop drinking, And I think it's the same with the church, I think we need greater lay involvement. I think we need outside independent review boards. I think we need greater transparency. we just need to change the reality of how things are done, you know. Here in the province of St. Barbara, we've made great strides, you know. When I was newly elected provincial, I settled the last lawsuit, you know. So currently, we have no lawsuits at all in the province of St. Barbara. This is the first time in 30 years, you know. We have an outside lay review board that investigates any allegations that do come up. We have a Presidium accreditation. We try to do our best to make sure that we are reporters and all our staffs are reporters or know about the abuse of minors. We have an outside counselor or therapist that people can call if they feel that they've been abused or in any way within the church, you know. So we've done many, many things within the province, and this is heartening, and this is good. But at the same time, these struggles that we are in now, this period of great darkness in the church is very disheartening. So in a concrete sense, what can we do today? What can we do? You know, it seems to me that we can cling close to Jesus, you know, and allow Jesus to transform us, you know. Try the best of our ability to reform our lives individually as friars, in our communities, in our ministries, you know, to be ever aware of the reality of abuse of power or the abuse in any way of a minor. You know. We can do all these things, you know. And I'm convinced that if somehow we can cling close to Jesus and ask for the guidance of the Holy Spirit in our life and try to the best of our ability to follow in the footsteps of St. Francis, that reform will come, that Jesus will be present and take this great darkness in the church and then somehow bring healing into it. So if you're discouraged like I am and just kind of bummed out overall, I encourage you to talk among yourself, among brothers, to support each other, and let us collectively find a path forward. You know, I am firmly convinced, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that this is a good time to be a friar, and we have much work to do. Let us get up and begin it once again. God bless you, and have a good day. Thank you.